Alright guys, welcome back again to the channel. As usual, back to let you know what's happening with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Chelle, the NFF, and everything that you need to know. So right now we have like 5 days to go before we play that Unity Cup game, the first match against Ghana. That game is coming up on the 28th, and as you know, anytime we play Ghana is always very interesting, it's always very exciting, whether it's friendly game or whether it's competitive game. Anytime we meet Ghana, it's always a very difficult fixture to look forward to. Now I know some people are saying that it may not really be as interesting as it would be if we have our full players, the likes of OSIMHEN and Ademola Lookman, who were the most notable guys that were left out of this squad. But again, I still think it's going to be very, very interesting to watch this game. And the Ghanaian team, I'm sure they're also missing a couple of marquee players on their own, so it's just going to balance each other from both teams, being that they'll be missing some of their big stars. But talking about the stars, let me give you a few stories that have come out of the Super Eagles camp, particularly the one affecting the list right now, because there's been report that IWOBI and Bassey have said that they want an excuse, they want to be excused from this game because they have an engagement that is going to keep them away from these Unity Cup games. I don't know if the engagement has anything to do with Fulham, but if you want to think about it, it makes sense because these two players play in the same club, so probably maybe they have some engagement with their club side. But again, if you look at it, the EPL is ending this weekend, because that's the day for the final fixture for all of the teams, and I don't think they're qualified into any final that would say, okay, maybe they have a final beyond this weekend to prepare for or something like that. But that's just what has come out right now. These guys have now asked for excuse from the list, and if this happens, if they are being granted the excuse and their names exempted, then obviously it's going to leave a void in the list. So that means Chelle is going to want to select other people to replace this void, and the very likely destination that the coach is going to want to look for these players is probably going to be the Nigerian local NPFL league. And speaking of the NPFL league, a lot of ex-internationals, a lot of stakeholders have really praised Coach Chelle and told him that they are really impressed with the list and the names that they found in it, particularly the fact that he opted to call in as much as 10 NPFL players, and that is something that obviously is promoting the local league, and it's inspiring the players there and making them believe that if they play very well, one day they will have the opportunity to be called up. But Coach Chelle had a moment to talk about the Unity Cup games and why he left our favorite players like Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman. Of course, those have been like the major questions from the fans. Why is Ademola Lookman exempted? Why is Victor Osimhen exempted? Things like that. So Coach Chelle has now come out to explain the reason on NFF official website. And Chelle said, we are looking forward to taking part in the Unity Cup as it will give us the chance to try out a few new players in different roles. It will help us strengthen our squad before the matches in September and October. So that's Coach Chelle's statement. And if you look at what he said, he didn't specifically answer the question of whether the exact reason why he left out Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, but he said something that's very crucial there, that they are looking to use this opportunity to call in new players, to invite in new players, and then try them in different roles and see how they can strengthen the squad and prepare them for the September and October games. Don't forget, it's very important, these September October games, because it's the World Cup qualifying series, and it's in this series that we have to win all of our games, because of course we know the story. We are not in a very good place in the Group C table. South Africa obviously enjoying some form in this competition. And I think we are going to meet South Africa in September, so we have to be prepared before we play South Africa. We have to win all of our games, not just South Africa, but the rest of the games. So this is why these games are crucial. This Unity Cup game, the friendly against Russia, these games are really crucial to get the best legs to get the victory for the qualifiers. So that's exactly what the coach meant when he gave out that very vague interview. But additionally, why Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman will not be taking part. As I said in the previous video, Osimhen is going to still be engaging with some matches up until 1st of June with Galatasaray. But aside from that, he still has a very important decision to make in terms of his future, because of course he's going to return back to Napoli, and then Napoli will most likely sell him again to a new club, whether it's in the Saudi Pro League, which I'm hearing right now is the club that I'm really interested in signing Osimhen. They've brought out a huge amount of money for the transfer fee, as well as some really incredible salary for Victor Osimhen for 3 years. I'm going to be talking about that later in the next video, but these are the reasons why Osimhen will not be partaking. He needs to sort out his future and know where he's going to play from next season. So it makes sense why Chelle and the NFF will allow him the time, the space to actually sort out his future. The same thing for Ademola Lookman. He's still someone who is very high on transfer markets, and there's an expectation about his sale this season, because Atlanta are trying to see if they can make the most money from Ademola Lookman and then invest it in other players. But Lookman still has a contract that runs up to 2027 June. So some of these things are what the players will have to consider before they make their decision. So at the end of the day, the Unity Cup organizers will have to bear with, they have to bear with these players and just go on with it, even if some of these stars don't attend, and maybe for that reason they are unable to sell a lot of their tickets. But at the end of the day, we know that these players, career, their future is more important than these friendlies that's been organized by the Unity Cup organizers.
Shoots. Has to be at yard though. Came away with a match ball. Fairs.